You know, like all things good, they all must come to an end. I was enjoying this so much on the curves up there, and I wasn't going that fast. I was going about 60, 70 on the curves, and with that in mind, this is actually a very good commuter bike if you're into this kind of naked, ready to race design from KTM. Do I like the bike? Yes, I do like the bike. Okay, this is the day after MMU 2019. Today is a Monday. As you can see, it's nice and hot and toasty. But unfortunately, you know, like all things good, they all must come to an end. Especially my 2-3 day fling with this bike right here, the KTM Duke 200, which I have to unfortunately return to one of our sponsors who kindly lent it to me for the past couple of days. So this is basically my overall summary and thoughts and first-hand experience with this bike, this 200cc single cylinder naked bike from KTM. Thank you, KTM. I'm 5'5", and this thing is pretty tall for me, but you know, for all you short riders who want to try and get started in riding, I believe you can hack it as long as you have proper prior training. Anyways, I'll talk more about this once I hit the road. But first, a quick walk around before I take her back to the fort. KTM BGC. There you go. Mind you, she's actually in a attention grabber. On my time with her, I've seen many taxi drivers and other motorcyclists turn around and actually look at me on this. She's got a very unique design. I'm not gonna go into the details of what the specs are of the engine or size of the tires. That's all readily available at KTM's website and elsewhere. So I'm just gonna tell you what my experience is and what I think about the bike. Anyways, let's hit the road. As you can see to my left, that's the entrance to the expressway. I can't enter that because this is only 200 cc's, and the minimum requirement for a bike to enter the expressways is 400 cc's. So I don't know if I mentioned this in my previous video, but I have to agree because this bike is super light. When I took it the first day out from the dealership, I was still getting to know her, and a truck or a bus like overtook me, and the wind blast coming from that overtake kind of pushed me sideways. Actually, I was surprised. That was the first time I've had that experience. I believe this is even lighter than my first bike that I started motovlogging with, which was the Honda CBR 150. Power wise, this bike has a lot more torque than that CBR. Even though it's got more 50 cc's more than the CBR, it almost feels like a Ninja 300 that I tried out before. You know, that torque. I mean, if I want to, and when it's clear, I can actually overtake this truck with no problem. So handling wise, as you probably saw in my previous video of the MMU, Renzanity and I overshot the second venue, which was KRB Speedway. Oh gosh. Diretso lang na? Okay. I don't know where I am. Renzanity's behind me. I like how it banking. It banking real good. Where is... I hope I didn't miss it. And we ended up going up to the mountains, and I really enjoyed going up the mountains, to so much that we overshot our second meeting point by about 20 kilometers according to Google Maps GPS. I was enjoying this so much on the curves up there, and I wasn't going that fast. I was going about 60, 70 on the curves in Marilake, or that portion there, the twisty bits that people like to go to, and you can see a lot of squid camote riders just riding and trying to put their knee down and everything. But I was enjoying this on the curves. In fact, even in slow speeds, this she's very quick steering, you know. It's just a flick of the wrist and you're turning or leaning over. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty flickable because of its lightweight built and design. Gakimoto, she started out with this Duke 200, the same model, and she would take this to her work, to commute, wherever she goes. So with that in mind, this is actually a very good commuter bike if you're into this kind of naked, ready to race design from KTM. Initially I complained about, apart from the clutch being stiff, is me not being used to the position of the pegs, because they're very rear set. It feels like a dirt bike, really, to be honest with you. The posture, I feel like I'm sitting on top of a bike, which is a good thing. If you're commuting, you can see on top, past the top of the cars, the roofs of the cars, so you can see further ahead, as opposed to what I'm riding normally, which is the Vulcanese. I'm like sitting down low in the bike. I can't see anything past beyond the car in front of me, but this one you can see pretty much through their windshields and past their line of sight. Busy Monday. It's also a chance for me to try out not taking the expressway, because that's what I normally do. You know, the expressway is convenient, but it's pretty pricey. You gotta pay 164 pesos per trip from where I am. But with the service road, and especially if you have a motorcycle, it's very convenient. Especially like a light motorcycle such as this. You can overtake this Jeep. Yeah, look at that, it got torque. And for a single cylinder, what the hell? For a single cylinder, it's got nice raspy, it's got like a dirt bike feely exhaust, you know? It's pretty good. Features wise, you got a gear indicator. Everything's all digital. You got a fuel gauge, you got the clock, and what else? It tells you how much average consumption you got. And also another safety feature this bike has is it tells you if your side stand is down. Very handy for beginners. And it shuts down. If you're on first gear and your side stands down, the engine will turn off. It will shut off. It's pretty good. Brakes on this thing for non-ABS model, they're pretty bitey, so, and they're very strong. And I mostly use finger braking on the front brake. You know, that's my ABS, 2 fingers. And this bike comes with disc brakes, both front and rear. Oh, another Raider. I'm allergic to Raider guys like who do that, seriously. I'm not racing, I'm just chilling. I'm enjoying this ride, you know. Even though it's ready to race, it's not my bike. I'm just ready to chill with this bike. What? Comfort wise, this bike, it has you sitting upright. The handlebars a little close to you. Initially, when I first sat on this bike, my first initial thoughts of the seat was like it's like sitting on a floorboard. But once you get going and you're riding, it's actually okay. And if you want, and if you're buying this bike, there's actually KTM also offers, I believe, aftermarket gel seats for their bikes. So if you want a more comfortable ride, you can get that for any of the models that KTM sells. Yeah, filtering with this bike is pretty easy because it's light and it's nimble. KTM has actually fixed the overheating issues with all their bike models, and this motorcycle or electric motorcycle is not legal to be on the road. And in fact, talking about comfort and mobility, this bike I'm using has actually, as mentioned to me by the guys at KTM, this demo bike has actually been used by another rider who's taken it around the Philippines. He's done the so-called Philippine Loop Challenge with this, sponsored by Petron, endorsed by the Philippine Department of Tourism. So yeah, this bike in terms of durability, yeah, KTM has improved upon it, so it's all good. Vibrations on this bike, they're minimal. You can feel them if you actually sit, you actually just pause and just observe the bike. You can feel them, but as you're riding, you totally forget about them. They're not disruptive because usually single cylinders are pretty vibey, but this bike, it's pretty calm. Side mirror wise, yes, in comparison to what I've experienced so far with other motorcycles, they're a little tiny, but as always, you can always get aftermarket mirrors. But the mirrors are actually okay. You can still see stuff behind you. I'm spoiled because my Vulcan S has huge mirrors and they're far out to the sides, and I can see everything. I can see everything behind me. So, but it's okay. It's up to you. If that's your preference, you want to get bigger mirrors like I do, then yeah, go for it. Yeah, I wish I can actually keep this bike a lot longer, but I don't want to overstay my welcome with our sponsors like KTM. Thank you very much, KTM BGC, for lending me this bike and trusting me with it. Do I like the bike? Yes, I do. I do like the bike. When I was starting out 3 years ago, when I was deciding on what to buy, when I bought the CBR, the Duke 200 was one of my choices. Yeah, but I was more attracted to the style of the CBR 150. But comfort-wise, in terms of posture, yes, this is more comfortable than a sport bike. So if I were to start riding all over again, or recommend a bike for a beginner rider who has no issues with a seat height, then yes, this is a good bike that will won't bore you and keep you happy for a long time. Yep, it's C5, and we're almost, my time with the Duke 200 is almost over. Oh, almost there. I'm actually kind of sad I gotta part ways with this bike. It isn't mine, so I gotta give it back to its rightful owners. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my first thoughts and opinions on the bike. The KTM 200, Duke 200, and hopefully it might have helped you in deciding what bike to buy as a beginner bike for those who intend on starting riding. Anyways, as always, click like, subscribe, leave a like, and hit that bell button, and feel free to comment on this video. I'll see you guys back in Jensen, and as always, enjoy your ride. I enjoyed it. Yeah. No, I'm torquey siya for 200 eh. Very torquey.
A few moments later.
I just left KTM. I just deposited the bike. And now I'm on my BMW.
What?
BMW stands for by means of walking. Yep, heading back home. and I'm wearing a helmet while on foot just to talk to you guys. Anyways, peace out guys, see you guys back in Gensan.